All right, welcome to another episode of our course in Microsoft Word. Today we are going to be looking at in our last video we discussed about the font group, this section in Microsoft application. Today we want to quickly look at the paragraph group. Okay, now if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps out a lot. I don't know why you'll be watching our channel without subscribing, so please just hit the subscribe button. It will help YouTube algorithm. Okay, all right, let's quickly, without wasting much of your time. Now this is actually a step-by-step guide tutorial on how to use Microsoft Word. I will enjoy you to watch some of our videos and follow along with us, and after this particular video we are still going to go into the next section and go into some other advanced concept in Microsoft Word. Now the first thing you see here is a paragraph. We have discussed about the group, this particular button, this particular ribbon. We said this is the complete office ribbon, and these are different groups within different tabs. Right now we are currently within the paragraph group. Now we'll be discussing about the numbering. Okay, numbering, let's say alignment. What other thing do we have there? I think we have indentation, decrease and increase. Then we have let's say sort and filter, or maybe sort. Then we have the line spacing. We now have the border, BOTHER. Let's say border. Then we have the shade. Okay, so we have shading. All right, so these are some of the things that are currently found within the paragraph. Now notice what exactly is paragraph. Okay, let me bring out this little show and hide. Good. Now while you are working with Microsoft Word, it is very important you try to distinguish what exactly is paragraph. Now anytime you hit the enter key on your keyboard, this icon, this sign you're seeing here is what you see. Okay, now anytime you hit the enter key, it means you have activated or create a paragraph. You understand? Usually when you are listing out a list of items, for instance, it will likely be in paragraph. For instance, let's say yam. If you hit the enter, you have created a paragraph. Beans, BANS, rice, continue. So this is exactly what paragraph means. Now in most cases, students do often ask me, like they get confused about what exactly is paragraph and how they can actually format paragraph. Now what we are going to do exactly is what paragraph is all about and how to format it. Now each of these item you see here have all been created in a different paragraph, and we'll try to see how we can format them. Now within this paragraph, for instance, what we can do is to apply numbering. We can apply different form types of numbering, different style. We can increase the indent, decrease indent, and also sort a particular paragraph. Then and also check the alignment, align text to the right, left, and the rest. So let's look at the first option, which is the bullet numbering here. Now in bullet numbering, what it means is if you have a list of items, you are working and you are typing a document and you want to list that out item. It could be days in the week, days in the month, and the rest. Now if you hover your mouse here, you will notice that this little arrow will give you a lot of options within the different bullet and numbering that you can choose from. Now all you have to do is to pick one. Now I'm going to pick this one. Once I click on it, notice what happened. The bullet has applied here. That's all. Very simple. Now the next thing is for you to type what you want to type by typing, if it's a list of, if it's a days in a week, now let's say Monday, Tuesday. Now the moment you are typing, all you have to do to maybe get a new bullet is to hit enter on your keyboard, which is to get you a new paragraph. Okay, now FEDNESDA, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, now if you are done with the paragraph, when you hit enter to enter the next paragraph, all you have to do is to strike another enter again, and it will go off and it will come back to your normal text and you can continue writing. So as simple as that. That's how you can apply numbering, whether it is bullet numbering or it is this other type of numbering or it is another style of numbering. They all follow the same format. Now let's take a look at this one. For instance, this here you can see there are different other style, but let's take a look at the second one. The second one here is number itself, where we have the normal number without bracket. We have another one with bracket but small letters. We have another which is capital letter. We have Roman numeral and the rest. Now it is your choice, depend on what type of numbering you want to adopt. All you have to do, for instance, this one that I've already used bullet numbering. Now I can highlight it. I can just go ahead and highlight this text. Okay, I hope you are following. If you have any question, please comment in the comment section below and we'll try as much as possible to respond to your comment. Now back to this. If you want to change this, for instance, from bullet numbering to another form of numbering, maybe the number itself or Roman numeral or some other form of numbering, all you had to do is to highlight the text. Once you highlight it, you just go back to the icon here and pick any one of your choice, and notice the time you hover your mouse on any of these icon. Now for instance, it will give you a preview of what it will look like once you clicked on it. So all you have to do is to do what? Just click on it and that's all. You have changed it, and that's all about bullet numbering. Okay, now the next one here is the what? Alignment. Okay, what is alignment? Alignment is more like a position. Okay, the position. Now notice this position is the left. We have middle, we have right, we have justify. Based on what you can see here, you can see this one is left alignment, center alignment, right alignment, then justify. Now I think I'll need a piece of article so you could see the difference by the time we apply the format here. So let me just quickly equal to rand. Let's get a two line with two paragraph and see how it looks like. Good. Now this is a sample text, just a dummy text. We're going to use this for practice, for instance. Now we want to try to test alignment, text alignment. The default alignment is usually the left alignment, where all the texts are aligned to the margin by the left side, which is where you see the text begins here. Your cursor begins blinking from here. If I click on the center alignment, for instance, your cursor will begin to blink in the middle. Now if I click on the right alignment, your cursor will be blinking at the right hand side. Now then if I click on justify, this justification, it distributes your text evenly between the margin. Okay, notice that the left will go ahead to the left margin, the middle will reside within the middle, then the right will take your cursor down to the right margin. But for justification, it will place the text in between, like it will distribute them evenly. Okay, so if I click on this, you literally will not see the difference between justified alignment and left alignment. However, by the time you try it out with one or two texts, you will see exactly how it looks like. Let's say for instance we want to okay, let's start with let's say I have a title for this document. So usually I may probably want the title to be in the middle, so we can use this to illustrate center alignment. So let's say working with paragraph. Okay, so now for me to place this text in the middle now, okay, let me bold it. Remember from our previous class we learned how to bold, increase the size, so you can try it out, increase the size, then underline. So but this time around we want to make sure that the text is in the middle. All you have to do is to highlight it and click on the center alignment. That's all. Now there is also a control key at which you can move around this, which if you try to hover your mouse on it, now like I told you before, now try as much as possible to move around with some of this icon. Move around the icon, place your cursor around it and try to see what it means. Most of these icons, they try to explain what it does, so that by the time you look at it, you probably, this is left alignment, for instance. It aligns your content to the left margin. Okay, now left alignment is commonly used for body text and makes document easier to read. Now this is because if you try to align something to the right hand side, for instance, let's align this to the right. All we have to do is to highlight the text and just click on the icon. It will move the text to the right hand side. Now notice, if I try to read this text, I will be kind of a little bit confused, like, where am I going to start from? Like, how do I read this text? Should I read from left to right or from right to left? But if, on the contrary, this text is aligned to the left, you can see it's easier. I can just go ahead. You also type a keyword to search online for the video that best feature demand your document to make blah 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 and the rest. So you can see how different some of these things is. Now the next thing I want you to look at while you are trying to check some of this command is to try to know some of the control keys. Okay, these are shortcuts. Like, look at the first one here, left align. Control what? L. Okay, Control L, left align. The second one, which is the center alignment, Control E. Okay, so what this means is, if you hold down your control key, let me try it out now. I'm going to highlight this text. Now I am currently holding my control key now, then press E. It will align the text to the middle. You can see it will move this item down to this section. So that is what some of these control keys does for you. It helps you quickly without having to bother yourself about moving your cursor down to the menu and hitting one icon and the rest. You can equally do that with your keyboard. It will save you time and you probably do your work even more faster. Now the next thing is the justified. If I hit on justify, notice that it presents the text as if it was left alignment. This is because we don't have a lot of lines, like a lot of paragraphs. Now let's take a look at this one where we have 1 to 3 lines. Okay, so if we justify this now, just take note at the difference. Take note of the difference. Let me zoom it. Take note of the difference. You discover that the text here, let me see, justify. Okay, it will align it at the straight line from the right margin down to the left margin, only that the one in between, which is the middle one, so long as it's not up to the length of the getting down to the right, then it will just stay wherever it is. You understand? However, every other line before the last line will always be from the left straight down to the right. So this is alignment for you, and you can use the control key to equally get the same result and even get it even faster. Now the next thing I would like you to also look at is also the line spacing. We have what we call line spacing. What is line spacing actually? If you look at this document very careful, you discover that there are some space. You can see the space between Monday and Tuesday, the space between Wednesday and Friday. These are what we refer to as line spacing. Okay, now we have what we call space before paragraph and space after paragraph. Now if you look at these two texts, these are two different paragraphs, and you can see this space in between them. I can't write in between them here. This is because the setting have been set, like there is a particular setting for the space between the paragraph. Okay, and that's why we are having such space. You can see the space between the line here is different as compared to the space in between this paragraph. So we'll see how you can basically change something like that as well in this video. Now let's go ahead and try to change the line spacing. We have different kinds of line spacing. We have single line spacing, double line spacing. We have different types of line spacing. All you have to do is hover down to the icon. Notice the first thing you see here, 1.0, that's 1.0 line spacing, 1.15, 1.5, 2.0, 2.5, 3.0, and more other options. Add space before the paragraph, remove space after the paragraph. So let's take a look at the first two options. First, okay, I think we can work with this. Assuming this is your paragraph, for instance, how do you remove the space in between this line, and how do you increase the line spacing of this particular text? First of all, highlight the text. highlight the text you want to apply numbering, apply line spacing. You can now click on, you can see the 0, 1.5. If you pay very close attention, you discover how different some of these spaces are between each of them. So you can be hovering around them to see what kind of space that it gives you. Then when you are comfortable with any of them, you can just click on it. If I click on this, this is the result I get. Now let's assume we have another paragraph here. Let's say making, alright, let me just copy and paste this. I think it will be better. Control C, copy and paste, and let me paste this. Already we've discussed about how to copy and paste and how to paste format right from this clipboard section. You will see paste, copy, paste, format painter, and the rest. Now if you have not watched that video, you can please make reference to it and get to know how you can use the command. Alright, now notice the space we have in between. Okay, I'm going to delete, let me delete this space. Yes, so I've made this a single paragraph now. Now we have just 3 paragraphs. This is one paragraph, this is another one, this is another one. So from this text to this text is one paragraph, this text to this text is another paragraph, and this to this is another paragraph. Notice the space in between them here, and notice the line spacing between the characters, between one line from the other line. Now let's go again. We highlight the text. Let's try to change the space. Maybe I'm not comfortable with this. I'm trying to write a letter. It's just a very simple formal letter, but I want it to be very well spaced so that somebody can read it very well. So you can just hover down to your line spacing and pick either 1.5 or 2.0, depend on what you want. So if I click on 2.0, this is the result you are going to get. Okay, so you can see there is quite a good number of space here for you to properly see what you are doing. Now let's take it back to at least 1.0. You can see the difference now. However, let's try to remove this space before paragraph and after paragraph. Now the space before paragraph is the one you see in between this, and after paragraph is the one you see right here. Now currently, if you move your cursor here, if you come here, you see that add space before paragraph. That means there wasn't any space before paragraph. Then when you see the option to remove space after paragraph, it means that there is a space before paragraph. Now notice when I hover my mouse on it, it removes the space, like there is no more space in between it. If I click on this now, you hardly can tell whether there is a paragraph in this document. And this is particularly why it is important that if you are bringing in if you want to know the formatting in your text, try to put some of these settings in place. Give some little space before and after paragraph, just so that you'll be able to see your work very clean and neat. So let's add space now. I can just click here and that's all. Okay, so that's just it for line spacing, space before paragraph, and the rest. Now this is line spacing option will give you like a dialog box where you can do more settings. Okay, here you can do a lot of settings generally related to the entire paragraph. You can see this is the paragraph group right under the home tab that we are trying to move around with. Like I said, we are trying to follow this command, this menu, this group, this tab one by one, bit by bit, so that as beginner you will be able to quickly walk around Office and use it effectively to meet your demand and to meet your desired result. So here is the general. You can see the alignment here. The same thing that we have within the icon here. You can now see the outline level, body 1, body 2. Okay, I don't usually use this very often, but however you can try it out. Now here is the indentation. Okay, we've not discussed about this, but obviously this is more like the more option about the paragraph if you're not satisfied with the command and some of the things that you have here. Okay, all right, let's go down to what now? The indentation. Okay, indentation. We have I think this indentation is very important. I like using it. Some people don't like using it, or some don't even know how to use them. The first one is what? To decrease indent, while the second one is to increase indent. The first one is to do what? decrease indent, and increase indent. Now when I am just right here, for instance, now I can decide to increase indent all by clicking on this. You understand? Okay, I'm decreasing it. The first one is increase. This one allows your text to move forward. Notice what is happening right from the ruler guide here. Your indent, whatever, is moving bit by bit, and you continue, it will continue in that manner. And if you bring it back, it will continue coming back just like this. So that's what indent is all about. Now, alternatively, if you look at your keyboard, you have what we call the tab. Okay, so you can equally use your tab to increase and decrease indent. Okay, so you can use your tab as well to increase and decrease indent. Now, when is this useful? For me, I find this very useful when I'm trying to list items and I don't want to use table. I want to try to list out items and their prices and the rest. So, and I don't want to use table. I just want to keep it very simple and clean. For instance, just follow along with me, and you understand what I'm trying to say. Let's say I want to buy some things and I want to just list them. List of items and their prices. Alright, sorry, this is their prices. Alright, now I hit the enter. I say one item is, let's say, shoes. Okay, sorry, let me say items. Item. Now I can use the tab key to move it to where I want the price or the amount to, amount. Okay, so I want the amount to be here. Sorry, amount. Now when I begin to list out this item, notice what happened. I can say, okay, I can use the indent to move this cursor down to the amount. There I will have a precise location of where to enter the amount. Let's say 580 or 870. Now I say goat. Do I want to buy goat? Alright, I can just use my tab key, or you can use the increase indent to move the tab back front, or use the decrease to take it back. Okay, now I am using the, how much is this? Let's say, okay. Now what many people, most novice, do when maybe they are not aware or familiar with some of these commands is that they go ahead and let's say I want to buy a phone. Now they now begin to use their space bar. Okay, they continue using their space bar just to, or they press and hold just to get to this location. You understand? Now I find it very boring, because sometimes when you are generally trying to format the entire document, it becomes a challenge, because some of these are just space that you actually inserted and they are not very friendly when it comes to formatting. Okay, and in most cases you may not even get it right, because you'll be trying to look at whether you're in the right position before you enter the figure. Somehow you think you're not there yet, you go back and try to adjust it. All this wastes your time and it's not efficient. And if you're trying to format a large document, I'm not sure if you want to keep doing this for a long time. Okay, so this is why it's particularly very important you get to understand how to use this increase and decrease. You can use it from your keyboard and you can use it right from here. You can increase it and obviously you can decrease it. Alright, so that is that. Then the next item here is the one you see, this little alphabet here. It says sort. Now this allows you to sort either a list of items, list of numbers, whatever, either in ascending order or descending order. Okay, now arrange the current selection in alphabetical or numeric order. This is especially useful if you are trying to organize data in a table. Now if you are trying to organize data in a table, but however it is not particularly important, like it's not must that it must be data in a table. Now take for instance Monday to Saturday is just a bunch of text. They might actually be alphabetical, but I don't think so. So let's try to see what happens. Now before you do that, first you have to highlight the text, then go ahead and click on it. Okay, now this dialog box comes up. We are trying to sort this text, which is the paragraph, which is text, either in ascending order or descending order. As simple as that. All you have to do is to pick one among these. Either you want it ascending, you click OK, it will sort the record. You can see Friday now becomes first because it is ascending. Monday, Saturday, then Wednesday becomes the last. Let's see what happens if we try to do it descending. So we want to take it round from Wednesday, Tuesday down to Friday. Okay, so you can see that is all. Now, particularly this is also very nice if you have table, because you can actually sort the record in those table in either ascending order or descending order. Now, the next item here is what? The Alright, let me go back. We have sort filter. Okay, it's just sort, not filter. I think it is in Excel that we are probably going to filter something out. So we've discussed line spacing, border, shading. Okay, is this border? Yeah, this should be border and this should be shading. Alright, now what exactly is border and shading or shading? Here is a fill color where you can shade a particular area. For instance, remember we've used something similar to this, but in the font type, on the font section, it was text highlight color, not really shading. But in this case, if we highlight any text here, we can basically shade the area by picking any color of our choice. Now, the difference between this and this is this. I'm going to pick maybe a similar color. For instance, let me just grab this. You see my highlighter here. Now I highlight this text. Now you can see it only highlights the area, the specific area that I highlighted. But in shading, even if I select this little item, for instance, okay, let me select this other one, and I go ahead and said shade this area with this color. Notice what happened? It shades the area, you understand? However, it still retains the text, just like this other one, with a very slight difference. Now, we can actually do that for the entire paragraph by clicking on this and then moving your shading in this manner. While for text highlighter, we can only grab this and highlight it for the text. Now, there are just some very slight difference between these two. Well, as for me, I don't think I'm seeing any more difference here. However, it depends on which one you were able to quickly ascertain and to get to the result that you're looking for. You understand? So now let's quickly move ahead. That is just that. The other option you have here is for you to select different kind of colors. What color do you want? What styles do you want? If you don't see the color, what option should you go for? You can go for more option. You can select some standard color or pick some custom design colors. These colors are, like they are going to help you get a better result if you know how to customize them by changing the RGB to HSL, whatever. As you keep changing the numbers here, it will be reflecting in this dialog box. So let's close this and move ahead to the border. Border is just border, like it's just line. Okay, let me see what. Okay, let me go down. All right, so we have what we call page border, paragraph border. Now let's start with the paragraph. Let me see, I am going to school. All right, now depending on what you are doing at a particular point in time, you may not really need a paragraph border, but in the event you do need one, you can equally get it from here. You see here we have the bottom, we have the top, we have the left, we have the right, we have no border at all border, outside border, inside, like so many different, but just have to pick one. Once you pick the one of your choice, you just click on it and boom, you have applied the border. That's all. This is quite different from underline. I know some people will be like, well, this is can't I use underline for this and the rest? Is different. In underline, once you hit on this and you click underline, the texts are underlined, but in border you can see it cut across the entire row. Okay, it cut across the entire row. And likewise for other option here, let's say the top border, you can see I've added the top border here. This is not line, this is just a border, and it will allow you to have these two horizontal line below and above the text. Now the second option is your page border. Here you have to go into this border and shading fully to be able to get that. The first one is the border itself, which is what we actually apply to the current text that you are seeing here. Then the next one now is the what? the page border. Now notice what is here actually is not very different from what we have there. The box, the shadow, the 3D. Now within this particular dialog box, it gives you some level of flexibility to change the style of the border. Okay, you can change the style, and you can also change the color of the border. You can then change the the thickness of the border. You understand? So if I hit enter on this now, notice what happened. So you see this is the result you get. A thick border and a round border because I selected box and the rest. Now let's quickly go back again and look at the border again. Now the next thing here is what? The page border. Now this is the one I'm talking about that is applicable and applies to the entire page. All you have to do here first of all is to specify what type of border do you want. The first one is none, and it's very important that anytime you want to remove a page border entirely from your document, you can use this option, which is the first one, none. Then the box one will just wrap up a box all around your page. Okay, for instance, let me just hit the enter. You can see what happens here. Like you can see the box. You understand? In fact, let me leave it in this manner so you could see from afar how the border works. Then let me quickly go back and go back to borders again. Now I can increase the thickness. When I increase the thickness, notice what happened. Everything here changes, and I can click on what? Alright, sorry, this is for paragraph. Let me go to page. Yes, so I can increase the border style here and also increase the thickness if possible. And I can click on what? OK. Now first you select the style, you select the settings, you pick the area you want. The default is the whole document, but as you get advanced, you may want to apply border in specific pages or in specific sections. Now we'll talk more about sections by the time we get into the insert and design layout in MS Word. But for now, let's go ahead and apply this for the entire document by clicking what? OK. So click OK. You see that the text, the border surrounding your document has now increased in both size and dimension. So let's go back down to the border again and see what other things we can do right there. You can now change the color. Now you can actually do a lot of customization within the border here actually. Feel free to try it out, try it on your own, move around it, move your cursor, just play around with it. Okay, now the more you do this, the more you get familiar and get better about using some of those things. Now the last one I would like to show you here is the width. Okay, no, sorry, go. Okay, the art. You understand this section here, art. The art here gives you some little kind of like funny design, funny whatever that you can pick at. Just pick it, just grab one, just find anyone that looks nice to you and you can apply it. That's all. Yay, nice one, right? Good. So you can do whatever you want to do within the border. Even if you don't want the border by the side and by the left and the right, you can still do that. Let me quickly show you how to do that. If you go back to the border, look at this preview here. All you have to do is tick the area that you don't want. You tick this area. You can say I remove the two left and right border. You understand? All I have to do is to click on OK and see what happens. Now I have a very nice stylish looking document. You understand? By the time I print this, you're probably wondering, how did I put this, how did I put that? So the goal of this course is to be able to like expose you to some of the commands, some of the items, some of the icons, and some of the functions, some of the features in MS Word that you can probably use to get what you want. Okay, so and it is our expectation that at the end of this lesson, at the end of this course, you will, by the time you cite a particular document, you should be able to visualize what you see and try to create something similar to that using some of the numerous features that we have within Microsoft Word. Now the last one here is show and hide. Show paragraph mark and other hidden formatting symbol. Now when I click on this, notice what happened. So some random symbols will just be displayed all over your document. Let me increase the zoom. Alright, so you can see this. Now you can see for a space you see a dot, for a paragraph you see something like this, Then for some other, this is numbering. You see this little arrow here. So all these are symbols that represent some of the formatting that have been applied to this. Even if you have a form, like embedded form right within MS Word, you probably see how the form looks like, where text is being entered and the rest. Now, we usually call these non-printed characters. It doesn't really mean that some of my students were like, no, my gosh, like this thing is dirty, like I don't want this to be printed. Don't be scared. This is not going to appear in the preview. It is just for you to see that yes, you have applied paragraph here, you have applied paragraph here, and if you apply break, if there is a break in between here now, for instance, let's say insert break, let me break, you understand? By the time you come here, you will know that yes, from this point here, there is like it was broken into the next page. Now, some person have this funny way of just pressing the enter key until it breaks down to, to the next page. You understand? That is not the best practice. The best practice is by the time you are done with what you are doing, you understand, you want to move to the next paragraph, move to the next chapter, or move to the next page. You understand? Maybe the words you have right now here on this page is exactly what you need, and you don't want to add more. You just want to begin with a fresh new page. Don't go ahead and hit enter until you move down. No, the best practice is for you to just go ahead and insert a new page. Okay, you break page from this section into the next section. This way, if you are writing a book and some other document, it is very important, because the system will track where you have paragraph, where you have page breaks and the rest. Okay, so this is just a quick summary about paragraph. We actually did not cover every single thing in paragraph, so feel free to move around it, try one or two things, just go down there, go to the numbering, change numbering, pick Roman numeral, do a lot of things on your own and try to see the result you get. Okay, I used to tell my students, please don't be scared of anything, go ahead and try it. You understand? Try so many things, just click and move around. Okay, it won't hurt you, it won't hurt the system. By the time you make mistake, you will learn and you come back again and continue. We are just here to walk you, like serve as a guide and provide you with one or two step by step on how to move around it. If you have any question, please comment below. And if you like this video, please just give us a thumbs up, smash the like button, so we'll know that you appreciate the video, and we'll do our best to keep publishing more of this video. So thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day.